Hello, everybody. Welcome to the very first Facebook Live in our second annual Facebook Live summer series. That was a lot of Facebook Lives there. I am really excited tonight to bring some new information to you about what best practice really means. But before we do that, I thought it'd be just really fun to do a little chat while everyone's just getting on. I see some people are saying hello. Hi, Kristen, I see you. Say hello if you are just joining, but I have some new technology I want to show you that's really cool. So let me try this. I'm brand new to this, but there we go. Hey, can you guys see that? Let me know while we're waiting for everyone to get on, because I know it takes a minute for everyone to get on live. Let me know which of the topics on this poster you're most excited about. I would love to hear which one you're most excited about. Maybe it's tonight, or maybe on Thursday when I talk about guided reading versus strategy groups, or any of the other topics that are coming up. I would love to know which one you are most excited about for June and July. I don't have the August calendar out, but there's also an August calendar too, which I'm really excited about. So welcome as you're just hanging out with me. I see, hi Trina, she says spelling, and Monica Thursdays, Lindsay, all of them. That's great. I'm glad that you're excited. I'm really excited about them too. I have some freebies to give you guys tonight too. I'm going to walk you through tonight's topic and then give you some free handouts that are going to be in a Google Drive. You'll get a link to that in just a minute. Our talk is going to be maybe 15 or 20 minutes or so. So just so you know, a heads up. And you can always watch it as a replay too on Facebook Live, which is really great. If you wanted to watch last year's Facebook Live summer series that I did, you can do that by going to my Facebook page, which is where you're at now, and going into the videos section. You can look through all of the live posts from last summer, download all of those freebies still too. So it's pretty cool how they're what we call evergreen. They last forever. And that's what's really fun about doing these Facebook Lives. So hello, welcome everybody. I'm going to take this down, and if I can, there we go. Oh, there we go. I did it. Yay. I'm so excited. So tonight's topic is all about what best practice really means. I don't know about you, but maybe as a teacher, you've been in the lounge or the teacher's lounge or walking through the hallway or in a staff meeting, just chatting with teachers, and everyone's talking about best practice. Is it best practice or not? What is best practice? And you're kind of thinking, what is best practice? I should know this. And what does that really mean? It's kind of like this big buzzword in the teaching world. It didn't start there though, actually. It started in the business world. Best practice became something known to business leaders and entrepreneurs about things that they did in their business and marketing world. And it kind of scaffolded down into the teaching world too. So I wanted to just talk about what best practice really looks like as a teacher. So the next time you're in a conversation with other teachers about that, you really will have some strong ideas about what that really means. So basically, let me screen share with you. You're going to get everything that I'm going to share with you, you're going to get for free in a Google Drive. And just when we're done, I'll send you a link in the comment section so you'll get that. All right, so there we go. Awesome. If you've been in my Facebook Lives before, you know what this looks like from last summer, the topic and the title there. But basically, I thought I would break down what best practice really means. So a strategy in the teaching world that's best practice is really something that number one, can be modeled by the teacher. Number two, it involves and engages all of the students in learning. If it's involving and engaging all of our students, it's a best practice teaching method or strategy. It encourages positive growth, and that growth can be measured both formally and informally. So a best practice strategy should be one where we can measure growth by just observing our class and what they're doing, and also in a formal way. Number four, best practice strategies are positive increases in students' motivation for learning, that you can see students are positively encouraged and motivated through their learning. If you see positive encouragement, you know that you're working with a best practice strategy right there. Number five, it can be differentiated to meet students at their individual levels. We all know differentiation is important and critical, really, to meet all of our learners. So that is definitely a part of being a best practice strategy. Two more. Number 6, it's been proven time and time again by teachers down the hall. Teachers are talking about, hey, I've been doing this strategy and it's working. I'm seeing it working. So it kind of has this little bit of bearings behind it, this proof that it's doing its job. This strategy is really working in the classrooms with other classrooms, not just your own. Number 7, it's rigorous and it develops critical thinking skills for your students. Those are my top 7 identifiers to a teaching strategy that is best practice. And I'm going to give you those in this handout. You'll get a link in a minute. Another thing that I wanted to say that's on this slide is with best practices, you're going to know it's a best practice when your students, this is what they're doing, okay? If you can look around your room, your students are engaged and they're focused on the activity that they're doing at hand. And they're also eager and motivated to learn. They're actively involved, whether it's a project-based, a hands-on type of thing, or they're actively involved using their minds, talking, sharing. They're involved in a whole group, or they're involved in a small group, partner type of conversation, discussion. That's a really great best practice there. They're positive and confident about their learning. If students are frustrated and they're feeling like they're falling behind and they're sitting in the room really frustrated, the strategies that we're using at that point are not best practice for that student. So when we see our students being positive, feeling confident and motivated in what they're doing, we can be assured that what we're working on in that moment and the strategies that we're using are really best practice for those kids. It's not simply responding to a set of directions, but learning to think critically on a deeper level. So if we have our kids really thinking critically, then we're doing some really good best practice. If they're simply responding to a bunch of worksheets, directions on worksheets over and over every day, they're not really developing any critical thinking skills, and there's a lot of room there to increase the strategies. There's a full-on purpose and understanding about the task at hand. Your students know exactly what is expected of them and why it is expected of them as well. That's a really best practice to give your kids purpose, to build the rationale behind what it is you expect them to do. And also another big thing is they feel safe. They feel safe to ask questions without being kind of made fun of or anything. They feel safe to explore their learning, to challenge themselves and each other. Those are really great strategies or really great signs that you have best practice strategies. And the last one that you can see in your kids is that they've been given some sort of choice in their learning. It can be a small choice, but that they have ownership over what they're learning through choice gives them great motivation and really impacts the level of the learning and how it's going to stick with them in the long term. So those are some things that you can see your students doing that you know are you're working with best practice strategies there. Let me take this slide down, which I'm going to give you this in a minute at the end. I have another one to show you that you're going to get to. I see you guys all saying hello. I'm so glad you're saying hi to me. Feel free to keep saying comments in the comment section. I'd love to see you in there. I like to go back and read them after. It's hard to watch them and do this at the same time, but I love to watch them after. All right, so I have a little activity for us. Are you ready? I'm going to give you I have this dry erase marker in my hand. I'm just flipping it around, but I am going to do a little activity with you because now we're going to move into, well, what are some good best practice strategies and how can you tell? So these are just a few that I came up with off the top of my head that I know are pretty good, solid, foundational best practice strategies. And I'm going to give you this list as well, but let me just go through them a little bit. The first one I thought of was repeated readings. Second one was conferencing. Any type of conferencing is a great best practice strategy. Number 3, I do on a daily basis, scaffolding the learning. So in a mini lesson, I will model, I'll invite the students to learn, and then I'll have them share with a partner. I scaffold the learning in that way, and I always see success with my students, and they're always engaged. So I know that's a best practice. Number 4, accountability talk. And number 5 is a big one. Number 5 I could have 50 things under number 5. Formative assessments. Formative assessments are great because they're a way for us as teachers to continually assess our students in a formal or in an informal, like as we're going on the spot, minute to minute way, and use those assessments to drive our instruction on a day-to-day, minute to minute sometimes basis. Some things that are part of formative assessments that are best practice are the think, pair, share strategy, reflection time and share time at the end of a workshop, entrance slips, like having the students on an entrance slip, you would have the students write down something that they are interested in. You tell them the topic that you're going to be doing. Maybe it's for a whole unit or a week or even just that day. And you have them write down all the things that they know, maybe that they want to know, like a KWL chart or something like that. And you get a little informal or a little assessment there, formative assessment on what they're thinking at the beginning of a lesson or a unit. And then you have, of course, exit slips. You can do status of the class, and that's a really great thing to check what the students are thinking before and after a lesson. A check for understanding, a turn and talk, a fishbowl, all great strategies. And the last one is teaching to mastery that I have on here. So we're going to do our activity now really quick. I'm going to take turn and talk as one of my, I'm going to see, is this really best practice or not? So I came up with this checklist here. Let me pull this down. And my checklist is right here, and I'm going to give this to you guys too. So this is my checklist, and I actually laminated it, which I love to laminate. I'm a laminating crazy person. Wait, there. So here's my checklist. So I'm going to write turn and talk on the top with my expo. And I'm going to ask myself, as a teacher, I'm going to ask myself 12 questions that you see on here. And I'm going to answer each one of them yes, no, or not sure. And I want to get 10 yeses to be able to say that, yes, this strategy is best practice or not. So I'm going to do this with the turn and talk strategy with you. Number one, can the strategy be modeled by the teacher? I'm going to check yes, because I think the teacher could partner up with a student and model how you can turn and talk about your thinking. So yes. Are all the students actively involved in the learning? Yes, because they're all talking instead of just one student raising their hand to answer a question that the teacher asks. Everybody is answering the question in a turn and talk. So they're all actively involved. Best practice right there. Can learning growth be measured informally? I think yes, that the learning growth can be measured informally because I'm going to be watching as they're turning and talking, and I'm going to be taking notes on what they're saying with each other. Number 4, can learning growth be measured formally? I don't know if it could be measured formally with a turn and talk, so I'm going to put not sure because I don't know. I can't see it right now, so I'll put not sure. Can this strategy be differentiated for learners? I think yes, because I can choose who's going to be partners with who. So if I have behavior problems, I can put the partners together. If I have someone who's really shy, maybe I'll be their partner. So I can definitely differentiate that strategy. Do I know other teachers who've successfully used it? Yes. Is it creating a rigorous learning environment? Yes, because everyone's engaged. Are my students using critical thinking skills? Yes. Are my students able to be fully engaged? Yes. Do my students understand the purpose for their learning and feel motivated? Yes, because they have to understand the questions and the purpose because they have to use their voice and talk the whole time. Are my students involved in a conversation about their learning? Yes. And my last question, are my students able to reflect and share their new learning? Yes. So look at my little dry erase marker thing here for turn and talk. If you're unsure if a strategy that you're using as a teacher is best practice or not, you can use these 12 questions here and you can answer them yourself. I just laminated mine. So actually I'm going to wipe this all off and I'm going to give you a copy of this. So you can check off the ones that you think are yes or no. And I recommend that you have to get 12 or you have to get 10 yeses to have it be best practice. If you have less than 10, I would say maybe look for another strategy to work with your kids on. I'm going to do one more and then I'm going to give you this for free. All right. Hi guys, I see you saying hello. We're going to do one more. Teaching to mastery. All right. So for teaching to mastery, meaning that I want my students to master a skill. I'm not just going to touch the surface of something, but I'm going to actually master the skill with them. So again, if you're a little unsure, is that best practice strategy or not? Answer the questions and I'll answer them really quick. Can the strategy be modeled by the teacher? Yes, because I as a teacher can model my thinking out loud of something that I'm mastering in my mind. Are all students actively involved in the learning? Yes, they're going to be. Can learning growth be measured informally? Yes, through our conversations that we have and through the work that I see them doing. Can it be measured formally? Yes, when I teach students to mastery, I can measure it formally with assessments, either a formal end of a unit assessment or a formal end of the day assessment, something that they do independently. Can it be differentiated? Yes. So I could actually pull a small group and teach to mastery with them as well. Do I know other teachers who've done it? Yes. Is it creating a rigorous learning environment? Yes, because I'm making them go beyond the surface of things and teach it to a level that they have to master it and really own that learning. Are my students using critical thinking skills? Oh yeah, you betcha. Are my students able to be fully engaged? Yes. Do they understand the purpose in learning and feel motivated? Of course they do, because I'm going to have a good attitude. I'm going to be positive about it. And I'm going to tell them why they need to master these things and why it's so important. Are my students involved in a conversation? Yes. And are they able to reflect and share their new learning? Yes. So we will be sharing all our mastery. So you can see, boom, when I want to teach to mastery, I know that I'm doing something that is a really best practice strategy. So the next time you hear teachers talking about best practice, think about these 12 questions. And this might be a cool thing to laminate, actually, when you guys are planning over the summer and you're thinking about different teaching strategies to use. Use this page, laminate it, check it off. I just wiped it off twice here. It's totally clean. And then you can decide if what you're doing in your classrooms is best practice or not. And I wanted to, before I give you that link really quickly, I wanted to tell you too that if you wanted to hear more about teaching to mastery, I'm actually doing a live webinar in like 45 minutes. In 45 minutes about it. Here's the cover of it, but it's a free webinar. I'm going to go over 7 steps of how I teach to mastery. And what's really cool about this webinar is I'm going to give you every step for free. So I'm going to give you a handout. It's kind of like, it's not like this, but it's kind of like this to help you plan lessons for mastery. So it's a really cool webinar. If you've never been in a webinar, it's super easy. I'm going to actually post how you can get on there now. And let me post this in the comment section. This is some new technology. But you can still join the webinar. To join the webinar, I'm typing and talking out loud. That's really weird. Go to jenbengalwebinars.com. Okay, watch this. So I'm going to comment. This is so fun. And then my comment should show up. There's a little bit of a delay. So when you guys type a comment, I don't see it right away. There, how cool is that? So you can go to jenbengalwebinars.com. And you can register for it now. It's going to start in about 50 minutes. No, 40. I can't tell time. 40 minutes, I think, about 40 minutes. It's going to start. And again, I'll give you a certificate of participation. You'll get all my notes in the workbook completed, and you're going to get every step for free in that webinar. There's a lot of people signed up right now. Usually about half the people show that actually sign up, which I totally understand, things happen. So we should have room, but if everybody shows up, just get there about 10 minutes early. And again, if you've never been in a webinar, all you have to do is go there, pick the one for tonight, click that, and you'll just go through a registration, like 2 steps, and you'll get an email. And that email is really important because in that email, it will have your link to join the webinar. So all you have to do at about 7:15 Central, that's my time. It might be 8:15 if you're on the East Coast, or earlier if you're on the West Coast. But in about 25 minutes or so, click that link that you get emailed to you. And then it'll tell you exactly how to get on the webinar. And you'll see my slides and you'll start hearing me talk after a little bit. And that's it. It's really simple. So I do recommend, if you're going to join the webinar tonight, though, I do recommend that you use an iPad or a laptop if you can. I know some of you don't have that at home, but it's just way easier than on your phone. You can do it on your phone, but it's just way simple if you use a bigger device. Okay, let me pull that down. I wanted to show you 2 more things. I'm so excited about these slides. Isn't this cool? I got to show you guys something else too in a minute. All right, so my June calendar for webinars is also all at jenbengalwebinars.com. You can see all the stuff that's coming up in June. It's jam-packed right now. The next couple weeks are going to be crazy. And then I just finished July, friends, today. I spent the entire day. It took me about 8 hours to do all the technology to get everyone to be able to register for all these. So it's crazy, the technology behind it, but it's all ready. So you can go there and pick whatever ones you want to watch for July as well. And thank you, Lisa. You're so sweet. Okay, so watch this. This is really cool. This is the other thing I want to show you. Where did that go? So I'm going to make this go away. And let's see, Michelle. She said, I liked the webinar, or I liked that webinar. Isn't that cool? I can put your comment on the screen. I just love it. This is like a new technology for me. Okay, so Monica. Hi, Monica. She said, is the handout available to pre-print? Oh, gosh, I forgot. You guys need this. I'm so excited about the technology. Monica, yes, I'm going to give you that link right now. So here comes the Google Drive for the stuff I just shared with you about best practice. Let me see. There we go. So it should pop up. It's a Google Drive, so you'll be able to download those 3 pages I shared tonight about best practice with you. And feel free to share them with other colleagues and administrators as well. It might be a really great activity to do to reflect as teachers and think about how you're using strategies in your classrooms and if they're really effective or not. You know, one thing that's not on there is your relationships that you have with your students, your positive attitude, your excitement for it. And it makes a huge difference if we're excited about a lesson, if we're excited about getting everybody on the carpet and chatting, or if we're like, all right, come on, guys, get on the carpet now. It's time to start reading. I mean, it makes a big difference. So that's another thing that's just really, really, really great to always be thinking about as a teacher too. Good question. Cynthia, look at how cool is that? She said, how much time do I have to log on? So if you're going to the webinar tonight, it's 6:52 right now, my time, and it starts at 7:30. So I'm actually going to close out this live in just a minute, and I'm going to go ahead and do my prep work for the webinar. I'll turn the webinar on at about 7:15. But if you get there early, what happens, the platform just kind of puts you in like this holding room. So if you log in at 7, you're fine. You just have to wait. Eventually you'll see my screen pop up, and that's when you know, okay, we're good now. But you can get in there anytime now if you wanted to. It'll take me a little bit to do some prep work, and then I'll get in there too. Great question. Anyone else have questions? Gina, I'm not really sure what you mean by do we click on it. You can click on that link. It should work. Does this one work? That Google Drive link should work. If it doesn't, I'll put another one in too. No worries. Can anyone let me know if that worked? There's like a 15-second delay too. Lindsay, awesome, thank you. So that does work. So you'll see that in the comment section too. Perfect. Oh, it won't let you click on it. Weird. Okay, so there might be some protection on it. I am going to Karen Jones. Jen, is your webinar at 7:30 Central or Pacific? Great question, Karen. It's at 7:30 Central Time, which is in about 35 minutes. I'm going to hang up now on our call, and I am going to check that link works. But I wanted to say too, last 1 second, that on Thursday, I'll be talking about guided reading versus strategy groups at the same time in the same spot. And if that link isn't working right now, don't worry, I will make sure it's working. I actually have a team in the background right now that's probably checking on it. But thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. And I hope you're going to join me in the webinar in just a few minutes. I'm really excited. Oh, it's working. Yeah, it's working. Okay, we're good. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you soon, if not in just a few minutes, maybe on Thursday in the next Facebook Live. Bye.